Hello everybody, this is Steve Smith, the editor of PHC News Magazine, and we're coming to you live at the AHR Expo, which I think it's been an hour since the trade show floor opened, and it is looking really, really good. So I'm glad that we could be back. It's been a couple of long years that we were not able to get together face-to-face for this great show. And what we're doing here today and tomorrow are a series of live interviews at our booth with various people from the PHC community. And our next interview is Ashley Martin, the Executive Vice President of Nipco. Ashley, you probably have the shortest commute of all our guests. Literally their booth is on the other side of the aisle from the cameras.
Worked out great for me. That was perfect.
I didn't have to go anywhere either. Well, thanks for coming by.
Of course, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Now, there's obviously, I can see your booth quite clearly, and there's a lot of people in your booth. So what can you tell us that's new and exciting over there? I haven't had a chance to check it all out, but I will.
Well, great, thank you. One of our new exciting things that we have in the booth is our Racer Corvette.
Yeah.
So it's a copper Corvette to help us launch our Racer, which is our push fittings made out of rock copper that we make in Stewart's Draft, Virginia. And it's one of our big 5. It's one of the 5 products we have launched during the last 2 years.
Okay.
So we're re-highlighting all those products now that we are able to be in person with people.
Okay, so 2 years ago, you kind of launched the big 5, or maybe it was big 3 back then, I don't know.
It was just one, it was the 585 HP, and
okay.
Now we're launching that again this year, but with an extended line. We have the large diameter sizes available.
Okay, so why don't we go through all the 5. Let's read them out, I guess.
Yes, so the 585 HP, the large diameter. Then we have bench press, which is our carbon steel press.
Okay.
We have press ACR, which is rock copper fittings for ACR applications.
Okay.
We have press G, which is copper for gas applications.
All right.
And then we have the Racer, which
yes.
we talked about, the push fittings made of rock copper.
Well, maybe I mean, I'm sure there's great things to talk about all 5 of those. You want good things to come out of all of them. But you can't not talk about the Racer, since this is a copper Corvette that I think I'm going to take home. I think Sally will let me take the keys, I'm sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Racer fittings? What's going on there?
Yeah, so it's a push fitting made of rock copper fittings.
Okay.
And so it's 99.9% pure copper that we make here in the United States at our Stewart's Draft, Virginia plant.
Okay.
And the car, I'm sorry you can't take it home with you because it is going on tour from here.
Oh, very good.
It'll be in the Southwest and up through California, making various stops so that people can see it, but also obviously to help promote the Racer.
And are those at distributor locations?
They are. They're distributor locations. I believe it's starting here in Arizona next week.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, can we go into a little bit more detail about the Racer fittings, I guess? What problem is it solving? What's the magic?
So with a lot of our products that we have come out with the past 2 years, it is really trying to help with the labor shortage issue.
Okay.
We feel it too with the manufacturing our manufacturing locations. Finding people in all places across the country is difficult right now.
Yes.
So anything we feel that will save people time, get it done faster, is going to make the contractors' lives easier. So with the push, with the press, it is all about time savings and getting in and out and on to the next job.
Right. And it does that obviously very well. So it's a press fitting essentially, yeah? Is that?
Well, we have the push fittings, which is the Racer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Push fit. Okay. And so that's new this year.
It is. Yes.
Okay. And it's on the market right now, right?
It is. It's on the market right now. We have special display cases available, so distributors can put it on their countertop, and contractors can just pick it up when they walk in.
And I can't get my eyes off that beautiful Corvette. So you mentioned that the tour is starting soon. Is that the dates on your website? I'm not so sure if I noticed anything just yet.
They are not published out on our website yet, but they will be here soon.
Okay.
And so people can go on and look. We have a special landing page for the Racer on our website.
All right. Well, as soon as you get the dates figured out, we'll put it up on our website right away.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
So, what else is going on with the company? I know you got pretty good date coming up in a couple of years.
Yeah, we are excited. Hopefully, in 2 years, it will be 120 years old, and we're very excited about just celebrating that with all of our employees, but all of our customers who have helped us make it to that milestone.
I know it's a little early, but is there anything planned just yet, or?
We don't have anything planned just yet,
Okay.
but as soon as we do, we will let everyone know.
Good, good. So what else is going on at NIBCO these days as far as the company?
Obviously, a focus for us is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay.
It's been a focus for us. We want to get people into not only manufacturing, but the trades, and just showing that is a great career path for a lot of people, and we do have great things that they can accomplish here.
Okay.
We, at NIBCO, my mom started our women's group. It's now about 12 years old, and that really spurred me to want to help our entire industry and really help with the ASA's Women in Industry and get that started.
I want to talk about that, but let's get back to NIBCO for just a second. The focus on DEI.
Yes.
What's all involved there? Have you had meetings or talks, or how does it work?
So we have training through our SAP Success Factors that we do every month.
SAP is
our ERP system.
Okay.
And so we have trainings out there, like I said, every month. We're still working remotely, so we are having speakers, but it's all virtual. We are hoping soon to be able to get together in person like we are here today. But we also do a women's conference every year where we do get together and have speakers and give training so people have the skills to be able to go into new positions and be able to continue to grow.
Good. And that's a good segue to your work at ASA, the American Spy Association. So I know you're very instrumental in getting the the Women in Industry group off the ground. So you tell us about that.
Yeah. So that was started just about 8 years ago, and Katie Paling Seymour and I from First Supply, we were just having a conversation that we wanted to be able to support women in our industry, but also retain them and help them grow.
Okay.
And so it really came from that conversation, and luckily we had Mike Adelizi's support. And so we were like, okay, we got to get women together. And so we wanted to have a conference, and we were hoping for 50, and we got 70 that first year. And now they're going to be in Louisville in April this year, and they're expecting about 200 women.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the first one was 50 to 70 people. You were hoping for 50.
Yeah, hoping for 15, we got 70, and now every year we get about 200 women.
Okay. So the next one is coming up
it's
this year?
It's in April in Louisville.
Okay. So how has that grown over the years? I mean, obviously you've done something right. It's a lot more people. What are you doing to help women in the industry, I guess?
Yeah, so part of it is, training for different skills. Negotiation is a topic that always comes up that women want to learn about. So we definitely try to take feedback from the group and find out what they are most interested in. So it is about skills, how to grow in your career, but also skills for the plumbing, specific trades.
Okay.
Because we do want to focus on that. And we want to make sure the women understand our industry and how all the parts and pieces fit together.
Yeah, sure. Well, it sounds like a very good program. Are there any other activities? I mean, I know you mentioned the meetings, and those are good, but what about, it's just one day a year. What else is going on? What other activities are involved with the ASA Women in Industry group that you can talk about?
Yeah, so they also have a monthly book club where they get together virtually, discuss a book that's relevant topic.
Oh, neat.
And then also at we are able to get together at Network ASA and meet again.
Right.
But yeah, the book club is, I would say, what we do a lot. In the beginning, we had webinars, and but we found people now want more interaction, and so that's why they've gone to the book club.
I like that book club. What's the book? What's the book of the month? I guess. What's the latest one?
I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head.
That's fine. And you talked about this a little briefly. Obviously, the pandemic is not new news, although there's always something new, I guess it seems to be. What's going on at Nipco? You mentioned, are people still working remotely? Are people somewhat back, or a little bit of both, or what?
Our manufacturing locations, obviously, people are still
Right.
there. We're an essential business. But our world headquarters, we all still are at home and virtually working at this
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
But I think when we do go back, it will be a hybrid situation,
Really?
and people can come in if they feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
But if they feel more comfortable working remotely, that is their choice.
Well, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, you're the executive vice president of the company. I mean, it's obviously a little different for everybody. How is it working? I mean, can you get things done? I mean, obviously you can get things done, but it just seems like it's harder, or particularly if you're new too. I mean, how are
Yes.
you
So
nurturing
nurturing
these new people?
You're right, because we do want to continue to maintain our culture, even though more things are virtual.
Right.
So we had what we called new associates events back before COVID started, and we've just continued those virtually. But also now we have new associate lunches where they can get together with their peers that are new as well.
Yeah.
And start to develop those relationships and just talk about things that come up that I don't know what this is. Can you help me with this?
Right.
So we're doing some of the events virtually, some are in person, but we're definitely still trying to develop that culture and keep people informed and know what's going on.
Very good. Very good. Well, what else is going on in the company that you can tell us about? What's in the works, I guess? I mean, I know you're a big party, but in 2 years. But other than that,
Yeah, well, we're obviously always looking for new innovation and come out with new products. That is a big focus for us. We want 10% of our sales to come from new products.
oh really? Okay.
We're celebrating 120 in a couple of years, and we feel like if we want to celebrate another, 100 or 120 years, we have to focus on innovation.
Okay.
And so that's where we have that goal of 10% of our sales have to come from new products.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is that a new mandate or what?
I would say it's something we've been highlighting for the past 5 years, but it's definitely, we feel more important now.
Okay, and can you tell me how along you are towards this 10% mark?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not meeting that goal at the moment. We're right around 7.5%.
And some new products, without letting the cat out of the bag, is there some new products in the works that you can maybe mention, or what areas are you looking at?
So like we talked about the Rot Racer, so we have 16 SKUs in that, and so it would be wave 2 of that, launching more SKUs in Rot Racer.
Okay.
Expanding our bench press line as well would be a focus, and also looking at our butterfly valve and redesigning that.
Okay. And the 10% thing is very interesting to me to hear you say this. Obviously there's products, but are there commercial, residential, industrial applications that are maybe more growth oriented than others?
Well, right now the residential market obviously is very strong and has been for the last couple of years, and we don't see that going away.
Okay.
So focus on residential, and also the commercial market has been very strong, despite in the beginning having some holds on not being able to work, but now that commercial market has really come back strong, especially with data centers. So really being able to have those products for those markets, yes, that's a focus.
Very good. And I just want to ask you too about, obviously there's supply chain issues galore in this industry. How are you guys working your way through all this stuff? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Sometimes getting the raw material that we are looking for.
Right.
Specifically for our plastics has been difficult the last couple months, but we are seeing that loosening up, and we're getting more of the supply that we need.
Okay.
The nice thing about us too is we do make 90% of what we sell here in the United States.
Right.
So once we have the raw material and are able to make it, we can get it to the customer very quickly.
All right, very good. Well, I want to wrap everything up a little bit. Ashley, I know that your company obviously has been around a long time, as you mentioned, 120 years in 2 years, 198, if I'm doing my math right. So you're the 5th generation of the family.
I am, yes.
So can you tell us, I mean, obviously you and I both know that some companies don't make it past the 2nd generation. The 3rd seems to be very problematic. And here you are, the 5th. You're doing really good. What's going on? What's the secret?
I will say my grandfather and my dad planned very well. They had a plan and were able to successfully, move the company on. But also one of the things my father did that I think has really helped us is we became an ESOP.
Yes.
So employee stock ownership program. So 50% of Nipco is owned by the associates. And so once you've been with us for a year, you were able to purchase Nipco stock. Okay. And so I think that has also helped us be ready for that next challenge too of transitioning again. And so planning, organization, and I think the ESOP really helped us.
Yeah, and I'm curious, are there any advice, golden words of wisdom that maybe your dad or your mom gave you as you came? Because you've been executive vice president, I think, 2 years, yeah?
Actually, it happened in about a year ago, yes. Okay.
So what did your dad or mom tell you about how to grow this business and how to run it, I guess? Is there any?
They definitely, were focused on innovation and looking how to grow our sales there. But they always said you have to have good people, better people than you, helping you out.
Right.
And I believe we have the best people, and that's why we are successful.
Good, very good. Well, let's wrap it up there. That's a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm still Sally's off here by the camera, but I want the keys to that car. Okay.
He wants to take it for a drive tonight.
Yeah, I'll take
right?
a spin around. Yeah, in Vegas, sure. Fit right in.
You would.
Well, very good. Well, thanks again, Ashley, for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Walking the 5 steps over.
Right, it was a hard, long walk.
Well, again, everybody, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back very shortly for our next interview.